What is going on? You're checking out an all-new The RCWR Show coming at you live for this next little bit of Tuesday night, May 29th, 2018. Thank you guys so much for checking out this episode number 597. Can you believe it? Count them, 3 episodes away from our 600th episode. I still don't know what I'm going to be doing for episode 600. You guys will just have to wait and see. I'll tell you what, after the roller coaster of an insane week that's been going down, I don't know. I might have a couple of ideas on where I might want to go leading up to 600. So I'll keep you guys posted on that as the weeks are to come. Lee Sanders is the name. Love you guys that's checking out this episode right now. However you're checking it out, still keeping it simplistic for this week. Once again, for another consecutive week, we're not streaming on Facebook, still having the webcam problems. And as I was watching a little bit of SmackDown tonight, I really was just putting the final touches on what all I wanted to cover on tonight's show. So I was a bit distracted from that standpoint, but I didn't have enough time to charge up the phone so that I could stream live on Facebook for our Facebook audience. So hopefully, because see, my issue that I'm still continuing to experience, and I don't know if it's because of the new Windows update, if it's something from Facebook's end or what, but for some reason, when you try to access your webcam that's built into your laptop and you try to stream from your desktop for Facebook, right? Doesn't work. It says unable to find camera. And like for me, this is a brand new laptop. I haven't even had this for 8 months yet. Alienware 17. I can open up my webcam, my mic, everything else on all other platforms, but for some weird reason, the past, I think I want to say maybe 3 weeks, because there was 1 week I was able to stream and then I was good, but definitely the past 3 weeks now, I have not been able to stream on there. I can stream just fine on the phone. So why I can't stream from my laptop, I don't know, but hopefully I can have it resolved next week. If not, then I'm definitely going to make sure that at least an hour before I come on live for you guys, our Facebook audience, they aren't left being out in the cold, because you'd be surprised. There's actually a couple of people that check out the show live, but I see it's really popular for Facebook. That is, I see it's really popular once the stream is over and everybody can pretty much just rewind, all that good jazz. So I hope you guys had a fantastic Memorial Day holiday. Mine was pretty good. Now, you guys got to forgive me in advance. If you see a little bit of, for those of you checking out the live stream right now, and by the way, I know I said Facebook is down, so the only way you're going to be able to check this out right now is if you're checking it out on YouTube, be it live or on demand. Thank you. We're also streaming this live via Spreaker, and we're streaming this live via the RCWR Show app that's available for free in the Google Play Store. You can't beat free. FRE, yeah, you better get up on that. And I do appreciate you guys that went out of your way to review the app. Appreciate that as always, man. Love the support. Love the tremendous support. So hope you guys had a fantastic Memorial holiday weekend. Mine was really good. Had a nice 3-day break. And I tell you, to go into Memorial Day weekend leading up to the holiday and get NBA finals, and then, or actually, no, correction, to get a game 7 of the Western and the Eastern Conference Finals, right? Leading up to game 1 of the NBA Finals, which is going to be going down this Thursday, right? But then we get game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. I mean, my God, I felt like a hog and shit. I was in heaven, man. I mean, my God, just loving it, loving it. I mean, great time to be a sports fan, especially if you're looking for a couple of alternatives aside from the usual stuff that you get with, I don't know, WWE. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, we can all be in agreement the past couple of weeks. Now, I will say, last week's SmackDown, decent show. What we had got tonight was decent. Now, look, I got to be honest with you guys. I have forgot to set my DVR to check out Monday's Raw. I don't have Hulu and all that other stuff. So if I can check out Raw for free on Hulu without signing up, I don't know nothing about that. So I'll have to rely on you guys. But point being, wasn't able to watch Raw for this week. Kind of heard about what happened, but not enough to really comment on. But based off of the social media activity, especially from those of you I follow and interact with, it was the consensus overall a throwaway episode. So, I'll have to rely on you guys in the chat that did see Raw. You guys will have to like. I think this is one of those opportunities, these rare moments where you guys will have to enlighten me on some of the things that you liked about Raw for this week. And I promise I won't, make fun of it or make fun of you for. I never do make fun of you guys. I hope you guys know that by now. But I definitely want to pick on you all's brain on what you all had thought was pretty okay. That was a cool moment from Monday's WWE Raw. But we did watch SmackDown, so I mean that's good, right? All right, so that's good. So I mean, other than that, we definitely got a boatloads of wrestling, sports-oriented content that we can talk about. So get at me a couple of ways. We got the chat open on Spreaker, YouTube, all the usual places, man. Use the keywords the RCWR Show. And I gotta tell you, man, with regards to look, game one of the Stanley Cup Finals, let me just get that out the way. That was a lot of scoring that had went down. And to see it basically in what was that, 6-4? I'm going, oh, Capitals, you guys were so close. I mean, for a second there, it was really coming off as though this was probably going to be a tied up game. We were going to go into overtime. That's the way it was kind of looking there. But I tell you what, that quickly had turned around in the last 90 seconds. You're going, all right, forget about it. Excuse me, you might as well move on to game two. But I tell you what, for the Eastern Conference Finals of the NBA playoffs, let me just say, watching LeBron, and I was talking to a coworker of mine about this earlier today, and I had said to him straight up, I said, look, man, I said, you know what, this 2017-18 season of the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron James, you know what this reminds me of? He goes, nah. I told him, I said, it almost reminds me of the 2000-2001 season of Allen Iverson with the 76ers. It almost reminds me a lot like that. And I hate to use the word carry. And in this instance, LeBron carrying the Cavaliers. But if you have been watching this season, it really seems as though the heartbeat, the central nervous system, right? Right? Yeah, the nerve system. You just trace everything to LeBron. LeBron is the one that basically he sets the what's the right word I'm looking for? He sets the tone for the game, right? Is it going to be a night where LeBron James is going to have himself a 40 plus night game? 10 rebounds, 8 assists. Is it going to be one of those nights? Is this going to be a night where he's going to be mainly a scorer, or is he going to be one that is really going to be helping out as far as assist goes? Or is this maybe going to be a LeBron James that's going to help out with the rebounding? You just, or is he going to do like be a jack of all trades and he's going to do all of those things, right? Is he going to be a facilitator, or is he going to be the one that just instigates, gets everything going? You just never know. I guess one can make the argument that it depends on LeBron's mood or whatever. But watching this season of LeBron James, it reminded me a lot of the 2000-2001 76ers with Allen Iverson. And Allen Iverson, I mean, just when you thought that, all right, Sixers are down and out, here comes Allen Iverson bringing that fucking fire, right? And some would believe that Allen Iverson had carried the hell out of his team, when in actuality, if you do a lot of digging, just really, really do a lot of digging, for what they were able to do in that respected season, it wasn't all totally on Allen Iverson. It wasn't all totally on AI. It was just with the strong, dominating performance, the way he would just cut through his opponents. I mean, great handles this dude had, man, back in the day. You just couldn't help but be marveled. You couldn't help but be amazed at this young man's work, right? So when I look at what LeBron is able to do in this stage of his career, it is a tremendous feature. One thing that we all can definitely be in agreement, those of us that have been following this season of the NBA, one thing that we all can agree upon, and that's when it comes to his supporting cast, yes, with regards to his supporting cast, there's been some serious shakeup. No doubt about it. All the trading that had went down, and Dwayne Wade's no longer there. I mean, just a massive shakeup that they had did when it's all said and done. But there has been a lot of inconsistency when you look at what's been going down with LeBron's supporting cast. We can all be in agreement for that. J.R. Smith definitely comes to mind. It's like, which J.R. Smith are we going to get? Are we going to get a J.R. Smith that's not going to freaking put up any freaking points? Is that the J.R. Smith we're going to be getting? Or are we going to get a J.R. Smith that's going to do a little bit of contributing, right? And I don't mean 5 points. Is it going to be a situation where maybe he's going to give you 10 to maybe 15 points? Is that the J.R. Smith that's going to be showing up, right? Cal Corver, you got to get him involved in the game early. You got to get him those early touches. If you want to get him going, you got to let that young man find his groove real freaking early. Situations like that, we can all be in agreement that since this new entourage has been surrounded by LeBron, it's taking them some games to find their groove and everything, but they're still a bit inconsistent. And as I'm looking into the NBA Finals coming up this Thursday, game 1, this is going to be a true test for LeBron and Camp. Because let me tell you something, if LeBron is able to get past the Golden State Warriors, if he's able to come out of this and come out on top, win the NBA Finals, you talk about something in the history books. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of, I grew up during the Jordan era. I remember watching with my uncle and my dad when Michael Jordan went to the Chicago Bulls. We remember that vividly, and we watched every single game. I mean, when it came to the college basketball games, my dad, my uncle, they knew about Michael Jordan when he was in North Carolina, and they were like, oh man, he'd be so great for Chicago. I mean, they were constantly putting this young man over. And when he came to Chicago, it was like, yes. I mean, it was like they tasted championships. And I don't mean a championship. They tasted championships with the plural. All right. So for me to see and experience everything that I've experienced in the NBA since the early 80s, just being a little kid, seeing everything that's happening now. If LeBron is able to pull this off, boys and girls, this will be something that we're going to be talking about years from now, 10, 20 years from now. It's going to go down as single-handedly one of the greatest career-defining moments in his entire NBA career. I know we're going to have some that's going to make the argument of, well, will this put him over Michael Jordan? And some people will go, nah, man, nah, not because of when you look at, yeah, that's a great feature that he's going to be making his 9th consecutive appearance in the NBA Finals. I believe that's the stat. He's making his 9th consecutive appearance or something like that. You're going, wait, that's unheard of. That's crazy. Say what? Say for real? Right? But then you also kind of got to take a step back. You got to look at that win-loss ratio when it comes to the NBA Finals. And you're going, man, when you compare that to Jordan, right? I mean, without a shadow of doubt, I'm not picking sides. I'm definitely not picking sides. Any longtime listener knows I have been following many basketball teams for many years now. So my allegiance is not dedicated to just one individual, one team. But you can definitely find, well, look, Jordan beats LeBron in these categories, and LeBron beats Jordan in these categories. I don't know, guys. I mean, for me personally, if you ask me straight up to pick a side, I definitely feel that if LeBron is able to get the job done with this NBA Finals, he comes away winning it all. It's going to be a career-defining moment that's going to be talked about 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now. All right? I don't think anybody will ever touch what LeBron may be able to do going into the finals. At the same time, when you think about that freaking win-loss ratio for his finals appearances, you compare that to a Jordan, it doesn't really look too good. Now, if LeBron could maybe win 2, maybe 3 more championships, then you know what? In my book, he would surpass Jordan For me to say that is a huge deal because you're talking to somebody that grew up in Chicago. I saw all the Jordan reigns, all of them, and experienced them in Chicago. Probably the only Jordan reign I did not experience was the last reign that went down. What was that? The 97, 98 reign? My memory's a little bit rusty right now. That's probably the last reign that I didn't experience in Chicago because by then I was already living in the DMV area, but I faithfully watched every single Bulls game. So, for me to say, hey, if LeBron can win one or two more championships, actually, no, correction, if he can win two, for me, minimum two, if he can do three, that's even more icing on the cake. But if he can do a minimum of two more championships, then for me, I can definitely say, you know what? He surpassed Jordan. And shout out to Mark, 97, 98 Bulls. That was the last time they had won the championship. And they were in a rebuilding process too. I mean, they were already looking to shake it up. So the fact that they went out on such a strong note after that, I mean, that's like a testament, right? So, I don't know, but I'll tell you, the Houston Rockets, for those of you that might be a little bit curious, let me just talk about the Houston Rockets real quick. Give me the number, guys. What was it? 27 3-point attempts, 3-point shootings that they tried to attempt, and they like missed them all. I mean, I'm just amazed at this. I'm watching this game the other night, and I'm literally yelling at the TV. The hell are you guys doing? You guys have pretty much spent like the first 2 quarters basically looking for these weird, ridiculous, out of nowhere trick shots for making your threes. What the hell is up with that? I mean, these were threes that like were going, nah, there's no way. No, you're shooting from where? Man, that's not going. No. What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you the Harlem Globetrotters or something? What the hell is this? Like that's not going to go in. You would think that after 2 quarters, Houston Rockets would be like, Mike D'Antoni would be like, okay, look, guys, this is what we're going to do from here on out. You guys are just going to go on ahead. You're going to go in there. Look, the 3 points, it ain't working. Them 3-point shots is not working. Stop doing it. Take that bad boy to the paint. Draw fouls. Get to the free throw line. Get your points that way. Let's go. Let's get back into this. And I never did see that. I never did see that. Even when it was down to the final 4 minutes, I didn't even pick up a sense of urgency from the Rockets. It felt like they were deflated. It came off as if the Rockets were just phoning it in like, okay, can this be over now? Right? So for me, I was telling a friend of mine about this the other day. I said, Rockets, they look promising. And after what I saw the other night, Rockets got to do a little bit of tweaking. They have to do a little bit of tweaking, but they are a team. And I was telling somebody, I told multiple people this today, even those that were kind of like, oh, I'm getting sick and tired of Cavs and Golden State Warriors. It's like, why? It's like, this is good. We haven't had a rivalry like this in many, many years. Like, we haven't seen anything like this of dominance since the Bulls era. And then if you want to go a little bit more recent, since the Lakers, right? Why? Why? No, this is a good thing, but it's a good thing because for historic purposes, and this is what I told all my friends and family, I said, remember these moments. If you're an NBA fan, remember these moments because I promise you, I guarantee you guys, you're not going to see Cleveland Cavaliers and Golden State Warriors next year. You're not going to see it. You're not going to see part 5. I can tell you that right now. Rockets on the rise. They just got to get 1 or 2 additional pieces, but most importantly, Mike D'Antoni needs to be a little bit more universal with his thinking as far as coaching. All right, the 3 points, they need to definitely go back to the drawing board and re-strategize. But the Rockets, they're on the rise. I like what I've been seeing from the Milwaukee Bucks. I like what I'm seeing with Washington. They're still trying to find their groove. I don't know if maybe they might be able to do some good in the free agency over the summer, but they're a couple of pieces away. Spurs, they're definitely a couple of pieces away. Boston Celtics, I need to show them a lot of love. How the series might have been if Kyrie Irving was there and he was playing, they're definitely a heartbeat away from going into the finals. I even like what I'm seeing with the Lakers. Now, I'm not saying Lakers is going to go to the playoffs next year, but I definitely like what I had saw of the Lakers this season. All right, so I mean, there's a lot of teams that's definitely on the rise. Pelicans definitely need to show some love to the Pelicans, like what I was seeing from them. So mark my words, next season we're definitely not going to be seeing the Golden State Warriors and Cleveland Cavaliers again. Whether or not LeBron stays with the Cavs or not, I just feel personally in my heart of hearts, as far as a part 5 goes, it's not happening. Could we possibly see Cavs and Golden State Warriors again? It's possible, but for some weird reason, I'm not seeing LeBron in the picture. I'm not seeing him in that equation. I know, weird, right? But for some reason, I'm just not seeing that that happen. Like as far as in the NBA Finals, like Cavs, Warriors, maybe, but I don't think LeBron's going to be there. So then maybe the question becomes, well, if LeBron's not going to be there, Lee, does it even make sense that the Cavs will go to the playoffs? Time will tell, but I'm definitely not seeing a part 5. I'm not seeing another year of this. So I don't know if you guys have been getting the same vibe as well, but for me, that's definitely the vibe that I've been getting. But I've been enjoying this rivalry. You know, it's right up there for me. It's right up there with Lakers, Boston. It's definitely right up there for me. So I'm loving it. I'm eating it all up right now. So again, hope you guys had a fantastic Memorial Day weekend. I mean, other than kicking back, enjoying some sports, I caught up on some much needed rest, caught up on a little bit of light cleaning around the house. It was good, nice, relaxing, caught up on some stuff on the DVR, burned through some stuff on Netflix. It was good. I tell you who probably did have a great Memorial holiday weekend, but definitely did not have a good start to their work week. Roseanne Barr. I mean, god damn. It's not even Wednesday yet, and the shit really had hit the fan, didn't it, guys? I mean, wow. So let's recap for those of you that maybe don't know what the hell's been going on by now. But like, I would like to believe that there are a lot of you guys that know exactly what's been going on. Yeah. For those of you, before anybody says, where's the wrestling? I'm going to get to the talk of wrestling. We got to work our way through it. But once we do work our way to the talk of wrestling, you guys will enjoy it because there's like a big bulk of stuff that we'll be able to talk about. A lot of good, heavy wrestling content. Definitely a lot of CM Punk news we're going to get to. So, you know how we've been doing it on this show, been covering all things wrestling, entertainment, and beyond since 2011, right? Right. So unless you've been just disengaged from social media today, Roseanne, her ABC hit series, the revival that made its triumphant return several weeks ago to ABC, brought in about 18 million viewers that first episode of the revival. ABC, before that week was out, said, hot damn, we need to see us some more episodes. We want you to come back for another season. This is good. Well, that series has now been canceled. The revival has now been canceled. And why has it been canceled? Well, turns out Roseanne's mouth had got her into some serious trouble. Now, and shout out to my good people out here in the DMV, Washington Post. They had put a nice, pretty little ribbon around this. Now, ABC, they announced earlier today that it canceled Roseanne after the show star Roseanne Barr had went basically on this, I'm not going to even dub it bipolar, after seeing the great Mauro Ranello, you know, bipolar rock and roller, which I'll talk about later. I'm not going to even put the bipolar tag on this, but racist Twitter rant is definitely what everybody, including myself as a black man, is echoing. All right. You ain't got to be black. You just, man, that don't look right. Straight up. That don't look right. So she took aim late Monday at Valerie Jarrett, who was a former advisor to President Obama. In a tweet that identified the administration official by her initials, Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby equals VJ, meaning Valerie Jarrett. She later had claimed that it was a joke. She would then issue a more longer apology. Honestly, I think putting out a fucking tweet does not do it. I think when you assess the damage, as soon as humanly possible, you need to be getting in front of a freaking webcam, your phone, hello, and you need to, I don't know, put some Visine in your eyes, go near a freaking onion. You need to be crying and you need to be like, oh, I'm not that way at all, something, right? But no, several hours later, she issues an apology, and I'll give her credit. We'll read her apology. I apologize to Valerie Jarrett and to all Americans. I am truly sorry for making a bad joke about her politics and her looks. I should have known better. Forgive me. My joke was in bad taste. Well, Channing Dundry, the president of ABC Entertainment, he did not feel that was a joking matter. He said, and I quote, Roseanne's Twitter statement is repugnant and inconsistent with our values, and we have decided to cancel her show. Just hours after this rant had came about. Gets even more bad for Roseanne Barr, but good for a lot of people that were going, what the hell is going on here? She was dropped by her talent agency. Excuse me if I'm hiccuping. That's just a little bit of the beer. I should have it out of my system in a little bit. I actually got some water here on standby. She was also dropped by her talent agency, ICM Partners, who announced in a statement that her, and I quote, disgraceful and unacceptable tweet was anti-ethical to our core values, both as individuals and as an agency. Consequently, we have notified her that we will not represent her. She also took shots at Chelsea Clinton and her husband, making like these weird conspiracy claims that Chelsea had heard about and tried to correct her. And, you know, if ever there was a moment for Roseanne to just shut her mouth and, okay, I am mistaken, I apologize, I move along, she just kept stirring that freaking pot. Anybody that's been following her on social media, you can't make the argument, oh, well, Roseanne's rather new to social media. She's only been at this for a couple of months. No. She's been at this for at least a couple of years now. And you're just kind of going, my God, what the hell is this woman thinking? Like, seriously, what is this woman thinking? And then one could make the argument, well, Lee, what do you expect from Roseanne Barr? This is the same woman that has sung the national anthem back in the day while grabbing her freaking crotch and was just sounding, oh my God, freaking horrendous. If ever y'all think what Fergie did with her rendition was bad, no. Look up Roseanne for you younger guys that don't know anything about it. Look up Roseanne. That was by far the worst moment in national anthem history. Okay? So you have this comedian who comes off as basically trailer park trash, so to speak. Okay, that's really the tag you have to dub her with. That finds her niche into comedy, shares basically her real life. Yeah, what was going on in her childhood, what was going on with her as a teenager, going into a young adult. And you got to rewind it back to the 80s. Back in the 80s, if there was ever a time to be, oh my God, that is so raunchy. That is balls out there. That is in your face. What the hell? As far as comedy goes, you had guys like Richard Pryor that was still leading the way. You had Eddie Murphy until he went over to Hollywood. You had the late Bill Hicks. You had the late George Carlin. You had all these guys that were running around, and you had freaking Roseanne that was part of that same cloth. And she just caught on so well. I mean, she did pretty well for herself in the late 80s. 90s is when she really started to catch on. And then boom, she gets the Roseanne show. Everybody is behind it. Do not mention Bill Cosby. If you're going to mention Bill Cosby, Bill Cosby, yeah, he's popular for other reasons, okay? I'm going to introduce you to the Cosby Talk. Okay, no. He's more popular for that. All the other comedians that I just named, they were black, crude humor, in your balls. balls to the walls, straight up black humor. Okay, insulting humor. Bill Cosby was what did your kids say the darndest things? What the hell, little kids? No. I'm not. No, Bill Cosby. No, I can remember infamous interviews where Bill Cosby ridiculed guys like Eddie Murphy. He ridiculed guys like. That's an entirely different story. Again, we're talking about comedians from 70s, 80s that were pretty much raunchy. They were trying to push the envelope. Andrew Dice Clay, right? Guys like that. Older audiences, they know about all these comedians that I just mentioned. And they will tell you that all of the comedians that I just mentioned, if you were to take their same stick and put them out today, they would be eaten alive by the social justice warriors, because this is a pussified generation. That's the God's to honest truth. Johnny brings up another good one. I like that one. Paul Mooney. I love me some Paul Mooney. Paul Mooney can't even really, you got to be careful with Paul Mooney now. Paul Mooney's even starting to piss off people. Okay. That's what I'm saying. The times are really changing. But Roseanne, getting back on point. I appreciate the examples, but getting back on point, boys and girls. Roseanne found her groove in the 90s with her hit series, or was it late 80s? Feels like late 80s, early 90s when Roseanne had launched. Actually, now that I think about it, let me just kind of think about it a little bit more. No, she wasn't in the 80s. Roseanne kind of felt like maybe she was 93. I want to say Roseanne felt 93, maybe 94. It felt like. I'd be surprised if Roseanne started in 88, 89. That doesn't feel right to me, because the high and buzz was still on Married with Children during that time. But no, she found her niche. And then as a result of that series on ABC, it pretty much had propelled her to, other media opportunities. It definitely had propelled the hell out of Jim Carrey, right? God damn it, I said Jim Carrey. Not you guys in the chat. Stop giving examples. I'm like, John Goodman. John Goodman is who I'm thinking of. And John Goodman, and a lot of people, they have the misconception that John Goodman, oh well, Roseanne, that's pretty much what made him. But what a lot of people fail to realize is that John Goodman, before he found Roseanne, he actually was building a really good resume of whether it was a supporting role in a movie. I mean, one movie that really jumps out to mind, it was way before Roseanne had even dropped. He starred in what I thought was a really good psychological crime driven movie / drama. And that one was called Sea of Love. And he co-starred with Al Pacino and Ellen Barkin, the woman that's on Animal Kingdom, the blonde hair woman that's now in jail. It was a great cast. And basically the plot of the movie, there was this killer that was going around and he was killing people after meeting them on, like, what was it? I'm trying to think. Lonely Hearts. Now it's coming back to me. Yeah, people would put it in these ads in the newspaper, Lonely Hearts. All right. It was kind of like Plenty of Fish. It was basically like, blackplanet.com. Like if you wanted to try to date somebody, you basically would go on these, you would put an ad in the newspaper and you would say what you were looking for, all of that stuff. Right. And once you would do that, there was like a little mailbox number. And if the person was interested in dating you, then they would call the number. They would probably pay some type of a little fee to call that number. They would pay the fee just to leave you a message. And, once they leave the message in your box, right, they access your, because you got the number. Your number is right there. You can say in the newspaper, you can say, my name is Tom. I'm 32 years old. I like fishing. I like walking. I like parks. I like taking trips to different cities. Won't you be my tag along partner through this crazy thing called life? And then you would have like a 5, 6, 8 digit number that'd be right next to it. And then that person that was interested, they would just pick up the phone. They'd call, they'd pay some type of fee. and then they would leave you a message saying, "Hey, I saw your ad in the paper. I'd love to meet you. Can we meet at the bar at blah blah blah? Hey, give me a call." And that's pretty much how it would go down. We had this serial killer that was going around, and he was killing all these people just by responding to their ads and all that. And it was a great psychological thriller. And I remember John Goodman's character; he actually had played a detective slash partner of Al Pacino's character. And just their chemistry, just going back and forth, they did pretty well with each other. But I mean, I think it's safe to say, and I think we all can be in agreement that the more fame that Roseanne had got as a result of Roseanne, the more it went into her head. And you just started seeing all types of things happening with her, from her getting facial plastic surgery, getting a liposuction. I mean, she was just doing all of this stuff. And then what brought her to the dance initially, after a while, you started to feel as though, you know what, this feels kind of not real anymore. You know, those first early seasons, I would have to say the first 4, maybe 5 seasons of Roseanne, you know, it was like, wow, you know, this is, you know, she's kind of tapping into, and that's what was really good about Roseanne. All the other shows that you looked at, you know, you had freaking God, it was just so bullshit. Like everything was just, oh, it's peaches and roses, and oh, honey, yes, you can go out tonight. Yes, here's a little bit of money, or you know, it was just bullshit. And here, Roseanne was able to tap into what really was happening for a lot of families during that time period. Financially, times were tough, trying to make ends meet, trying to work what you can. A lot of people were able to relate with that. And that's why it was able to resonate so well in today's society. But once all the fame and fortune had got to her head, I mean, it got to John Goodman's head as well. Let's not forget, as a result of him being part of Roseanne, he got bigger, better opportunities. And it got to a point where both of them had started to clash. And you guys need to understand that because of that clashing, and because of John Goodman's, I believe he had some serious drinking problems, if I'm not mistaken, back then. And he was also quoted by many people that worked on the set and everything that he was also dealing with a little bit of substance abuse. He just overall was not really cool to work with in the later years. He was good those first couple of seasons, but when Hollywood, all that, the demons just really got the best of him. And ultimately, that's why you saw Roseanne do what she did to the Dan Connor character. That had pissed a lot of people off, right? So that's the history right there. That's, you know, but it was awesome. It was a good time to be a fan of Roseanne. Roseanne did not dip into politics or anything like that. It was just, hey, here's a good, hard-working family. Here is a family that just happens to be white, that is financially struggling. They got these crappy ass jobs. They're trying to do the very best that they possibly can do to get by, right? By any means necessary. Yeah, that resonated so well. And it was written so damn well. That was the other thing that was really cool about the series. Something that I see a lot of lacking in a lot of the shows today. Even when you look at your favorite wrestling show, there is piss poor writing that's going on. I mean, you know, perfect example. You could have a situation come about. One of my favorite all-time episodes of Roseanne. I loved it, and it stretched out over the course of a couple of episodes. That's how impactful it was. You had Darlene that had been dating this guy for a long period of time, Mark. She really, really loved this dude. And she decided, okay, you know what? I want to marry this guy. And she tried to do the right thing. She tried to tell Roseanne and Dan they weren't having it. They forbidded it. They felt that she was too young. They felt that she was throwing her life away. And, you know, you had, I'm sorry, Becky. It was Becky, not Darlene. It was Becky that was going out with Mark. You had Becky say to Roseanne, well, you had did it. You know, around my age, if not a little bit younger. Like, why is it okay for you and it's not okay for me? And Roseanne had said, hey, look, if me and your dad could, knowing what we know now, we definitely would have changed a couple of things, really taken our time, made sure we would have been in a much better financial situation before, we had children, things of that nature. But, stuff happens, and our generation, the way we were growing up, we were so carefree, blah, 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 blah. And so basically they were saying to her, hey, look, we get where you're coming from, but no, this isn't what we got planned. And I remember Becky ran off with Mark and they got married. So like over the course of just one episode, like you see the conflict with Becky, Darlene, DJ, Dan, you see the conflict and you're wondering, okay, how's this gonna play out? So you get the carrot that's dangling over your head to stick around for that whole episode. So you've got your act 1, your act 2, your act 3, and pretty much act 3, Becky, Mark, they run off to go get married. And now you're going, wow, what the hell is going to happen here? I got to watch the next episode. What the hell is going to happen? Is Dan and Roseanne, are they going to call the cops? And what the hell are they going to do? And then you kind of got your resolution the next episode when Becky came back. Oh, hey, it's been several weeks at this point. It's like, hey, I got married. And then you see how Dan, Roseanne deal with that conflict, right? That brilliant writing. And that's what made the revival so good in today's day and age. Like I said just a few seconds ago, you have so many shows that's out there now where the writing is so piss poor. There is a lack of. There is, okay, here's the subject. Here's the subchapters that we're going to sprinkle in between that connects to the focal point of our story for this episode. Here's the conflict. Okay, at the end, here's the resolution, but we set it up so that now as the viewer, we got you coming back to see what's going to happen for next week's episode. That's why I love shows like Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, The Punisher, Daredevil, Walking Dead. That's why I love shows like what I just described, because they follow that great formula that Roseanne was able to execute oh so well. So, to see and for a lot of us, Dan Connor, portrayed by John Goodman, that was our favorite character. A lot of us saw ourselves in Dan. If we were 18 and up, we kind of saw Dan being, that could be us in about 10 years or whatever. Or for a lot of us, I can see myself being friends with Dan. Dan seems like a really cool person to hang out with, right? Or man, Dan seems like the type that would actually legitimately be like my dad. Like, man, I wish he was my dad. He's freaking cool. So, for a lot of us to see the way that the Dan Connor character was killed off, it pissed us off. We didn't like that ending. And then to fast forward basically 20 years later, and this opportunity of a revival comes, I was all in. I was all in when I heard how everything was going to be going down with this new season. And to see and hear of the success that it was able to get, I'm going, all right, this is a win-win situation. They're not changing up on anything. They're literally using the same formula that they used 20 years ago that still works this very day. And you could make the argument that as far as greatest series to have a successful revival, like literally pick up right where they left off, and that momentum is still there. The momentum is still there. It's a very, very short list of shows. Some could say Will and Grace, right? Some could, I was going to say Fuller House, but I'm not really counting that. I'm just not, because that's kind of more like a Netflix thing. But I would definitely say Will and Grace. X-Files was definitely successful. Roseanne, you can put right up there. And the people that I really feel sorry for as a result of the actions of one Roseanne, I feel sorry for the actors. I feel sorry for the production team. I feel bad for the writing team. I feel bad for catering. I feel bad for everybody else that was assigned to this, because when it's all said and done, these guys were relying on this show for income. And now, you can't really feel too bad for them. But if anybody knows a thing or two about actors, and I definitely know a thing or two about acting because I had my part over the years. And, hey, you want to try out for this part, go here, go to this office and, have your portfolio of your head body shots, be ready to read these lines. I've had my share. All right. And you basically go into these offices. Most cases, your agent set it up. You have these appointments. You go read these lines. You hope you get the part. And, meantime, the bills got to come in somehow. You got to continue to work somehow. Whether you busting tables, you are a bouncer, somehow the money has to continue to come in until you finally are getting that big break. All right. So I know we don't need to feel sorry for certain people, like a John Goodman or Laura McCliff or whatever, but the production team, the writers, the catering crew, there's definitely a lot of people that have inadvertently became casualties as a result of one's actions. Now, I want to just tackle something because something I've been noticing all day today. I put up a thread on the Facebook page and I've interacted with some of you guys on social media when the news had broke out. And look, don't take what I'm getting ready to say as he's bashing me. No. I'm not bashing anybody. I love everybody. All right. I treat everybody with respect. Even when I don't agree with some of the things that you have to say, I give you that respect because when it's all said and done, I want that respect back. Right. That's how it works for me. I try to treat others the way I want to be treated, and that's with respect. But a lot of these arguments that a lot of you guys are making as far as Roseanne losing the job, I mean, I have seen conspiracy right-wing stuff being thrown out there left and right. Okay, so let me see if I got this straight. Roseanne has had social media for a couple of years now. And I am a faithful watcher of Investigation Discovery. And anybody else that knows about Investigation Discovery will back me up on this. There was a show that Roseanne had hosted a couple of years back that had to do with bad moms, like moms that just flip the hell out, like moms that would kill or some other crazy crap, all in the name of protecting their kids or whatever. And this series, we saw her hair. It was light blonde. I mean, it was almost Ric Flair blonde. And she was very, very skinny. I'm not talking about how she's looking now. She was even, believe it or not, more smaller than how she's looking now. She looked to be back then about 125. And a lot of us were going, what the hell is going on with Roseanne? Is she dying or something? What the hell? Like, we were really concerned. It was such a 180 that she would go in this direction, right? Like, what's going on with her? But let me see if I got this straight. And I bring that show up for a reason because back then she was still doing her thing on social media. So it's not like she's only had Twitter for a couple of months, all right? Anybody that's followed Roseanne these past couple of years on social media, they know about her political beliefs, her conspiracy theories, all of this, okay? Now, let's bring it home. So you're trying to have me believe that ABC decided that they were going to bring her and her show back to ABC. Mind you, a lot of baggage, a lot of bullshit that ABC had to deal with when it came to Roseanne, the first rodeo. Don't believe me? Go do your own respected research, okay? Because this ain't the history hour. Just go do your own research on Roseanne and the problems that she was dealing with ABC the first go round. You're going to have me believe that ABC decided, okay, you know what? We're going to do this revival. We're going to do it, but we pretty much just want to figure out a way to give her a big fuck you because we hate Republicans. I'm sorry, man. I'm not calling anybody stupid. I will never call a person stupid. But that theory is the stupidest goddamn thing I've ever heard in my entire life. It is. All right. We are talking strictly about entertainment. That is the bottom line. Okay. And this stuff about, oh, well, she should be able to say what she should be able to say because freedom of speech. You know what? As far as ABC/Disney, remember Disney. Remember that for a second. As far as ABC Disney is concerned, Roseanne, oh yeah, you can say whatever you want to say. That's right. That's your God-given right here in America. You can go say whatever you want to say. But guess what? When you are known as a public celebrity figure, you are on the clock 24/7. Even when you're not showing images from what you're doing on set, or you're not giving people a grand tour of what you're doing at home, just the fact that you open up your phone or your desktop and you put out some tweets like what she had put out in an open forum, there is going to always be serious repercussions. Look at the lawyer, Aaron whatever, in New York City. That is a perfect example. Two peas in the same pod. Now, let me tell you something. And I said this on Facebook. I could be the color that I am right now. Let's say, for the sake of the argument, I am a major celebrity and I have my own show. I don't give a fuck if it's on ABC. I just have my own hit show on a network. If I were to say any of the things that she had said, or if I were to jump out there and say, white people are evil, white people are Nazis reincarnated, dudes, you don't think my black ass would be pulled off of my show so damn fast? You don't think that my shit would get canceled and my agent and public, they would drop me? They would all drop me in a heartbeat. They don't want to be anywhere near that. Okay? This is about entertainment. And at the end of the day, who was signing the paychecks? ABC/Disney. And as far as Disney was concerned, no. We ain't having that. No. We aren't going to have no boycotts. We ain't going to have no damn protests. We're not going to have anybody hit up our sponsors and be like, look, if you don't pull Roseanne, we're going to do this. No. We're not having any of that. Not on our watch. No. Yeah, she might be bringing us some good money. That's true. She might be bringing us some good money. But you know what? Nah, we don't need that drama that's going to come attached to it. You want to bring your political beliefs on over and kind of bring that up on your show? Okay, we can see. And look, it was so bad, apparently, what had went down with this revival season, that the writers and staff and crew, they were already anticipating how they wanted to execute the next season. They were already saying, okay, well, we promise it's going to be way less political next season. We're going to try to do our best to get it back to where it was, like the old Roseanne that a lot of people had grew up enjoying. We're going to do our best to stay away from the politics. That's not what it needs to be about at the end of the day. We don't really want to alienate folks. So we want to kind of really keep it to the true roots. Let it be strictly about family and friends. And they were talking about how when Roseanne is on the set, if I remember it right, they have to like literally hide her phone and all that because she's so engaged to what's going on with social media when they're talking about Trump, all kinds of other shit, that they got to take the phone away from her and all that. They try to hide it so that she can focus on the work and everything. So, for me, I could be in that same position and I could say what I say. I'm going to get pulled. This is about Disney protecting their own ass. It's a business decision. I have no problem with that. It's a business decision. I'm genuinely picking up the vibe. It does not have anything to do with political, because Lord knows, and anybody that watched a handful of the Roseanne episodes, I mean, she really went there, but the way it was written, and a lot of that credit needs to go to Wanda Sykes. Wanda Sykes was actually sitting in on a lot of the team writing meetings, trying to help them fine tune the scripts and what would be great jokes, things of that nature. She was really doing her part in helping them, jazz it up. And, she has her own good respected resume as a writer and everything. So, you got all these elements that's going on, and to hear this now, look, in my heart of hearts, I don't believe that Roseanne is racist by any means. And anybody that remembers faithfully the original Roseanne series, Roseanne constantly had, yeah, it might have been predominantly Caucasian, but she did have black friends, she did have Spanish friends, she did have Asian friends. I remember there were black neighbors that had lived next door to the Connors for a long period of time. If anybody remembers, the husband, he would usually play poker with Dan, and then all of a sudden, just one season, they just like disappeared. And we kind of never really heard from them again, as far as like, did they move, what exactly had went down. Roseanne was groundbreaking back when she was on the air. I remember the episode where she had kissed another woman, and everybody was like, "Oh, nowadays when you see it, you're going, two women kissing, what the hell?" But back then it was, oh my God, they actually went there. So I feel in my heart of hearts, Roseanne is not racist. At the same time, I am very disappointed by the choice of words that she made. And anybody that wants to hide behind this whole freedom of speech thing, and say, oh, well, hate speech is part of the First Amendment, what the hell? Okay, so yeah, you know what? If we're going to go there, I agree with you 100%. But guess what? When you have a certain employer that's signing your checks, you better be careful, because your words and our society, how we put out things on social media, be it online or in print, we as a society, we always allow the first reaction to overcome us as we're reading it. We allow ourselves to feel that first reaction. We go off that first impulse. And sometimes you can make the argument, well, okay, we kind of jumped into conclusions. But when you look at what she put out, there's just no way you can get around that and say, no, that's wrong on so many levels. And I've said it on this show time and time and time and time and time and time fucking again. You celebrities out there, you got to be smart. Even when you're not making a movie, you're not part of a hit TV show. Just the fact that you're on your Instagram, your YouTube, your MySpace, whatever the hell you're on there. You are giving. That's the beautiful thing about social media, man. I keep telling people, if you want to know how a person's heart truly is, if you really want to get a sense on how they feel, all you need is one of these, a cell phone. And you can pretty much tap into that person's world from the privacy of your own home. And I tell you, this spreads like wildfire. When something good is going down, it spreads. When something bad is going down, 2 times worse. It spreads 2 times, and the pain that comes afterwards is 2 times, 3 times bad. Okay. But I believe in my heart of hearts, she's not racist. I don't believe that. I just feel I'm not even sure if it was a joke. I mean, I know for a lot of years she has been dealing with mental disorder. I'm not really sure if she was having one of those episodes or what. I don't know. I don't really care. As a fan, I'm definitely disappointed. I am definitely disappointed because I've always supported her over the years. I was telling somebody at work earlier today, I said, you know what, man? I said, Roseanne in this comeback, it was almost kind of like watching Archie Bunker, if you will. But yeah, okay, now we're moving on to the next thing. But that's just my thinking with regards to that. And I know a lot of people are going to go with the whole, oh, well, what about Bill Maher? What about Jimmy Kimmel? What about Conan? What about David Letterman? There's so many other comedians that have said, much more worse things about people.
in politics or about the president for that matter, what the hell? How come it all comes down so heavy on Roseanne? Well, with the exception of Jimmy Kimmel, who some could make the argument, okay, Jimmy Kimmel, you're kind of going a little bit too political. People are coming to you. You ask me straight up, you want to turn me away as a viewer? Hey, man, if you're going to talk a little light about politics, okay. But if you're going to use the platform as a way to bash, I don't care if it's a Democrat or independent Tea Party president or whatever. If you're going to dedicate a good portion of your show to talking about the president, you're bashing them. I'm sorry. That's not my form of entertainment. I don't want to be thinking about politics at the end of the night. At the end of the night, I just want to have a good laugh over something ridiculously stupid. Just stupid. That I can just go to bed laughing my ass off and then wake up in the morning. Right? That's it. Okay. I'm surprised, quite honestly, that ABC executives haven't told Jimmy that he needs to tone it down. In all honesty, but I guess when the numbers are good or whatever, okay, it ain't broke, keep it rolling. All right. But ABC, I think it was very appealing to them to have this reconnection with Roseanne, because let's be for real. Anybody that watches NFL football on CBS on any given Sunday, what's the damn commercials you always see for CBS? Number one in comedy, number one in this, number one in that. So for them to kind of get that whole itch about Roseanne, okay, you know what? What have we got to lose? Sure, let's go for it. And this could have been a very beautiful relationship for, God knows, 5, maybe even 6 years. You never know. We never will know now. Some are saying, well, maybe they could go on with the series. No Roseanne, just, maybe I like that idea. You could maybe say, my name is Dan, or call me Dan. Sadly, that kind of comes off like Archie Bunker's Place. And I think you could only do but so much. I think you would definitely barely get past the first season, like Archie Bunker's Place did. But then when it comes to a second season, I don't really know. Third season, you're definitely out. Second season's pushing it, but a third season, I don't really know. So, it's interesting. It's a very interesting dynamics that's going on. But, I really wanted to go in depth on that, because I see so many people. It's like, well, this person got, and this person's like, but with the exception of Jimmy Kimmel, they kind of give him a little bit of leeway. And I already gone on record saying how I feel about that. Everybody else that's being mentioned right now, the Bill Maher's and everybody else, they aren't getting that paycheck from Mickey Mouse. All right. That's the bottom line. They ain't getting that paycheck from Mickey Mouse. With that shit fly on NBC, with that, probably not. With that shit fly on CBS, probably not. Probably not. Would that shit fly on HBO? Possibly. You never know. But that's my wishful thinking on that one. So I really hope that we can have a more in-depth psychological discussion about what all had went down with this show being canceled, and not resort to, it's a political conspiracy, or I really hope we can get away from that, because that's not what it's about. It's not. Now, some could make the argument, well, Lee, what about Tim Allen's Last Man Standing? Let's look at what was going on with Tim Allen's character on that show. The ratings were good, and ABC had decided, okay, you know what? We're just going to cancel this. Fuck this. To that, I say, probably one of the most stupidest goddamn things that ABC had did was get rid of Last Man Standing. I bet you now, in retrospect, they're kind of going, and to that, let me say this. To that, I say this. I feel that with regards to the Tim Allen's Last Man Standing show being axed, I have a feeling that ABC had decided, okay, you know what? Yeah, Last Man Standing is aight, but man, Roseanne would bring us like double, and we could probably go in with a little bit of a lower production cost compared to Last Man Standing. Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead. Let's get rid of Last Man Standing, and let's go ahead. Let's commit fully to Roseanne. Got a better feeling about this. I have a feeling that's exactly what ABC executives did. They put all their marbles into the Roseanne reboot, They wanted to dedicate all free funds to that, and that's why ultimately Last Man Standing had got canned. But hey, at least Fox is picking it up. So, no mas. Let's continue on. Let's talk about some more stuff. So, let's talk a little bit about wrestling. Where do I want to go with this show? I hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. If you guys are, make sure you give the thumbs up, share, retweet, all that good stuff all throughout social media. Really, really, it means a lot, man. Really appreciate that. All right, so let's keep it going now. So wrestling wise, Memorial Day holiday, Enzo, or former WWE superstar Enzo, now known as Real One, he finally broke his silence as far as what his next career path is going to be. And this new career path that he's going to be embarking on is none other than a rapper. He is now a musician. And he dropped his first single / music video, which is called Phoenix. And he's basically documenting everything that had came about in Phoenix, where he dealt with that young crazy girl, that girl with the cray-cray. I got to tell you, when I looked at the music video, I actually watched it 3 times. You know, the first reaction you get is always like the most critical, but it kind of goes back to what I was saying before, which is, okay, first go round, you allow yourself to feel that first reaction. You go with that first impulse. And then you kind of just sit there for a couple of seconds and, okay, let's watch this again. Okay, let me come back a day from now. I'll watch this one more time. And that's kind of the situation it was with me. And, you know, the first time I had watched it, one of the things that just rubbed me the wrong way off the break was, okay, so we have a guy, an obese looking guy. I mean, he looks like the dude from Lost, but just more broke, more homeless looking. I mean, seriously, looks like he's in his mom's basement. Just sloppy as I don't know what. It's still real to me, damn it. Just nasty. And we see Real One, he gets in front of this guy and starts spitting out his rapping and making fun of him, taking the Cheeto out of his hand, mocking him as he's in front of the computer from the early 1990s. That looked like one of those welcome. You've got bail. It looked like one of those funky ass old computers. I'm going, wow, what, you know what? I looked at that and I'm going, surely that can't be how Enzo is really depicting his wrestling fans. You know, the fans from professional wrestling that have been supporting him all this time. Surely, no, that can't be. And then I really kind of had to think about it a little bit more when I watched the video a couple of more times. It's like, no, he's not making fun of the fans. Seems like he's more so making fun of, you know, perhaps those that weren't necessarily in his favor and felt that because this was out there, well, it must mean this, and Enzo is guilty. And then you're kind of going, well, maybe you could make that argument. Maybe you could make that argument. But then another way that you couldn't help but look at it, well, maybe he was taking a crack at the dirt sheets. Maybe he was taking a crack at, you know, wannabe podcasters that just basically come on and Amore charges job and that subscribe. Bye. You know, maybe he's, you know, going after some cats like that. Like, okay, whatever. So you can have different interpretations is what I'm saying. But when you get down to the lyrics for this music video, I thought the lyrics were pretty damn good. I mean, I particularly didn't really care for the music video. You know, it looked like it was shot in maybe 4K from what I had saw. You know, not bad from a production standpoint. Didn't really seem low budget or anything. But you know, the music video, it was but the lyrics was really, really, okay. I like this. Recounting everything that had went down. Okay. All right. I'm feeling you. Okay. So you're going to rise like a phoenix. This is your resurrection. Okay. And then you're also kind of dissing what went down in Phoenix. Okay. All right, cool. So I'm not sure how I really feel as far as him embarking on this rap career. I mean, quite honestly, I look at it like this. One can make the argument, oh, well, this guy maybe is a big fan of rap. Maybe in his household, he stay pushing, different rap albums, and maybe he was out there with his friends freestyling, things of that nature. And maybe it's something that he always wanted to do, and he felt he could easily make a great transition into it. I don't feel that he's going to be the new Eminem. If you guys want me to go in that direction, I mean, because ultimately, I think that's what's going to happen. I think a lot of my fellow colleagues are going to do some similarities. They're going to say, well, okay, well, where does he rank up? Is he the next Eminem? And I don't see that. Now, if it's a situation where Real One is able to use a lot of his connections, and I know he had talked about where he was recording. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Apparently, he put out a statement saying that he was recording a new single and some more songs from the studio where Tupac ultimately got shot or something like that. So, I mean, I'm not seeing him with a Little John. I'm not seeing him with Rakim or Wu Tang, Busta Rhymes. I'm not seeing anything of that nature. Honestly, I as far as collaborations go, and this is not a diss. It's not a diss, so nobody take it this way. I could see him trying to do some type of a wrestling connection with those that are also musicians that also love wrestling. So, for example, maybe ultimately I could see him doing some type of a collaboration with Kid Rock. I could see him do something with Insane Clown Posse. I could see him do something with Wale. Who was the rapper that recently had Ric Flair in his music video and they were just dancing all silly? I could see him maybe doing something like that, but Big Punisher. No, well, damn, I think Big Punisher's dead, right? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to laugh. That'd be something. Hey, Big Punisher, gotta dig you up, man. Real One wants to do a track with you. He said it's gonna be on fire. Jay-Z. No, I'm not seeing any of those things. I'm just not. I'm seeing him working with the names that I just mentioned. Maybe he will work with some low budget up and coming rappers. I could see something like that happening. But my first impressions right now, you're talking to somebody that loves music of all types. And anybody that has taken a peek at the YouTube channel, you go to the album review section, you see the wide range and diversity as far as my musical taste goes. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to be a failure as a musician, as a rapper. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is, for me personally, I don't see myself every single time Enzo drops a track or he drops an album. I don't see myself rushing to the stores to go get that. I think it's going to be one of those situations. Now let's take it a step further. Could he maybe eventually reach the heights of a Chris Jericho? Remember, every single time Jericho, Fozzy put out an album, they got better and better and better. And you're going, God damn, these guys are almost kind of like mid-2000s Bon Jovi kind of, right? That was kind of like at their peak. They were kind of like that. That's where Fozzy is right now. Could I maybe see Real One reach those heights? No, I'm not really. Yeah, Florida, Georgia line, that's possible too. That's possible as well. But shit, Florida, Georgia line, they might pass on him actually. But no, that's just the vibe I'm getting. I'm just getting that vibe, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that's going to kind of be feeling that same way. Now, the reviews right now are mixed. He's getting the views. And I hope that, what is it, World Star, whatever the site is, the company is that he hooked up with, I do hope that he's getting a big ass cut of that monetization. Because for it to had passed a million, I don't know where it is now. I don't know if it's close to 2 million or what. But I would imagine that's going to be a nice, good check when you add it all up. That's got to be at least a $600-700 check just off that one video alone, with all, assuming that they monetize that bitch. So that's actually pretty damn good, considering. And hasn't even been out for a full 7 days yet. It was just released on Monday. So you never know. You never know. But no, I don't see myself running out there grabbing his stuff. Now, if it's a situation where he puts out a single for free, a music video for everybody to check out that's free, I can see myself checking it out, and maybe I go from there. Because ultimately for me, what made me invest in the Fozzy albums, one, I really loved Chris Jericho. Two, I knew that this was a passion that he had been wanting to do for years. And for me, I saw a little bit of potential with the first Fozzy album, but I thought it was a joke. And I didn't think nothing much of it. And then when the second album dropped, I'm going, I'm on the fence. Oh, no. It was actually pretty good. That was the buzz. Oh, it's actually pretty good. It's better than the first album. Better than the first album. Okay, well, this is better than the first album. And that's how it just kept happening. So maybe that could be the same template with Real One. Only time will tell. But, I see some of the comments that we got in the chat right now, and some people, they feel that he's a clown, and, to each its own. But let me say this on a positive tip, on a real tip. Myself and a short list of other podcasters, the minute that this shit had broke out with this girl, we're going, no. Something don't sound right. What the hell? I know I definitely was going, something don't sound right. Enzo, what the hell were you thinking, man? You can't put yourself in these positions, brother. You got to play it a little bit more smarter. I was definitely one of a select few podcasts out there that was not biting into this and was questioning everything that was out there. And I'm happy that this guy, even though he made a music video about this ordeal, I mean, most rappers, most musicians, they take a negative, they turn it into a positive. They use it as the adrenaline they need to create a great song. Ask Taylor Swift. Every single time something did not go right with one of her boyfriends, she wrote a damn song about it. It's like, well, I broke up with Matt this week. You want to hear it? Here you go. And it's like, no, I really don't want to hear it. I really don't. I'm actually tired of hearing your stuff every single time you break up with somebody. It's like, maybe you need some black in your life. Maybe you need to get blacked. Maybe that'll take care of you. Whatever. But no, seriously. In all seriousness, yeah, I'm glad that this ordeal is now behind him. Of course, a lot of people are now wondering whether or not he's going to be able to sue the WWE successfully, a wrongful termination lawsuit. I could see him pursuing. Now, that is one thing that Enzo did say recently. He gave the fans a lot of props. He talked about how, hey, there were podcasters, there were fans that were, sending me and my lawyer just flooding us with, look at this, look at what went down. And Enzo said he really had appreciated that it actually, he felt so much love by that. And at the same time, he was going, well, damn, I really didn't need a lawyer. I could have just relied on the fans to do all the work for me. So, I mean, he's definitely in gratitude of those that definitely has supported him. And it should be interesting to see what's going to happen with his career next. As far as, because I know some people are like, is he going to be at All In? Is he maybe, what's Enzo doing at the Impact Zone? I'm not seeing any of that right now. I'm just not. I think for the time being, he's going to continue to just enjoy life, make his music, focus on his music, and then pretty much go from there. I can see him maybe doing a few autograph signing events. I could definitely see him eventually do some shoot interviews. I could see that type of stuff. But as far as working for another promotion on a regular basis, I'm just not seeing that. And if he were to eventually work with another promotion, I think one of the things, because I feel he's definitely deserving of it, he needs to be given, at least with his character, the things that's coming out of his mouth, he needs to be given full creative control. Don't let him be restrained, because when you restrain him, you're hurting his gift, and that is a hell of a gift that I will admit that man knows how to talk. He's got some damn good chops on him, no doubt about that. Moving right along, I checked out the new Mauro Ranello documentary, The Bipolar Rock and Roller. I actually had watched that earlier tonight, which I'm glad I did, because originally I was actually going to try to see if I could find Raw online. And I was going, well, by the time I get done watching Raw, I really won't be able to watch the Mauro joint because I'll have to watch SmackDown. Let me watch the Mauro. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I had watched the Showtime special, the Bipolar Rock and Roller. I can't stress this enough. I told you guys last week when I was plugging this, go out of your way, watch this. Watch it, because the trailer that I saw, I was just instantly magnetized. I'm going, my God, I got to go out of my way to check this out. Now, sadly, the only way you can check it out right now is on Showtime. You got to have a subscription unless you're getting some type of a free preview week, something like that, right? I coughed up my $10 just so I could see this. The last time I had coughed up $10 for a Showtime subscription, it was so I could see the George Michael Freedom documentary. I had heard so much great buzz about it, and man, I must have watched that at least twice now. I loved it, loved it. George Michael fans, you haven't checked that out yet, do check that out. That was actually a really damn good documentary. Definitely some areas missing, highlighting key points in his career that you just kind of you instantly notice. Like once it gets towards the end of the documentary, you go, well, shit, they didn't cover what the hell. But I came out of my pocket. I said, I got to see this Mauro Ranello documentary, man. And what a moving, emotional piece of work. Kudos to the WWE. It was great seeing Michael Cole. It was also great seeing Paul Levesque, Triple H. It was great seeing them, representing the WWE and pretty much talking about what it means to have Mauro in the WWE, working with him with his medical condition. And to hear in this documentary that Mauro had reached a point in his career where he's juggling the fights, he's juggling the podcasts and all these other media obligations. And on top of that, he was the lead play-by-play color guy for SmackDown. And then he just, at a Chicago airport, has this mental breakdown and just decides, okay, you know what? I can't do this. I got to go home. I got to decompress, because he felt like everything was just happening it was too much for him. I mean, he just basically over circuit drive, basically, right? He was burning out. And you're going, wow, God, if anybody knows that feeling, as far as I'm taking on too much of a workload, it's a lot of us, especially a lot of us that, maybe are working and also juggling a podcast. And hey, it happens to be a kid or kids in the picture. It's like sometimes it can become so much. You just want to kick back and say, I got to decompress for a bit. I got to just have me some alone time. I got to recharge. I got to refocus. Let me just disconnect, right? Let me just disconnect from everything, everybody, and I'll come back in a day or so. And to know that's what was going on with him, I mean, they kind of just brushed over it. But to hear that, you're going, wow, that's that, okay, well, we understand what had went down. But what I don't understand is, the way it came off, and I'm aware of the recent interviews that Mauro had gave, as you had whoever was doing the interviews, whether he was giving out an interview to a website or he was giving out interviews to podcasts. The question just kept coming up about, stuff with JBL, the WWE, and the only thing Mauro would say is, the only thing I'm going to say at this point is I had got to a point where, okay, so did something happen with JBL or not? That's like the $1 million question. And for me, it's one of those type of deals where, well, respectfully, Mauro, if nothing went down with JBL, why go days, weeks with so many people led with the impression that JBL was verbally saying something to you that was irking you off, to make you eventually say, screw this, I don't need this, I'm going home, I don't need to be dealing with this crap. Just to have JBL out there like that just kind of really, I won't say it rubbed me the wrong way, but it definitely made me kind of take a step back and say, man, what the hell. I think something had went down though with JBL. I won't say I'm going with my gut instinct, but I'm just really led to the impression that something did occur. But what was really the overwhelming factor in him just saying, okay, I'm done. I legitimately believe, and you'll feel the same way I feel once you watch the documentary, that Mauro got burned out. How many times was it that he had went to the hospital because of his mental health condition? 8, 9 freaking times. I mean, that is ridiculous to go into the hospital that many times. And I tell you what, I wish I had a friend like Mauro, because this guy, to lose his friend so early, in their lives, as they're all trying to figure out this thing called life, and they're all starting to grow into becoming young men, for his friend to just have his life get cut short before it could really begin to scratch the surface. So heartbreaking. And then for Mauro, every single year, no matter what, Mauro makes it his business to go visit his late friend's grave. That was just, I mean, I just can't help but grab my chest and go, man, what a tearjerker. That man, what a friend. No matter how many years, like, man, what a friend. This guy is still coming, visiting this gravesite, no matter what he's doing. Like, wow, that's badass. That's a friend. That's cool, man. You all right in my book. But I hate to go in this direction. I think I'm probably going to be one of the only people that's going to say this. And if anybody else says this as a result of what I said, please give credit where it's due. Okay? I feel personally, and Lord, I hope I'm wrong, because the last thing I want to do is jinx Mauro Ranello. I love Mauro, big fan of his work, love him as a person, love him tremendously. But I have this feeling that with regards to freaking Mauro and his mental health, I feel as though he's possibly going to be hitting another bump in the road very, very soon. And I'm going to explain to you the reason why. Just the way he handled the death of his friend, I'm under the impression that his mom, his dad, who, as we saw in that documentary, they're pretty old, right? They're pretty old. I don't want to say borrowed time, but these are the times where, when you have parents as old as what Mauro has in his parents, these are the times that you really cherish, because tomorrow is not promised. Yes, tomorrow isn't promised to anybody, but when you see the age of his parents, you go, hey, it could happen any day now. And I just have this weirdest feeling that when one of his parents passes, God, I hope that he has a really good, strong support buddy system in his corner because he's going to need it. Because if he took the death of his friend many years back, like if that was the trigger point for everything that would come to be with his disorder, or just really heighten and awaken it, I can only imagine what could possibly happen once the news comes about of his parent or parents passing. And that's what I'm really concerned of. That's what I'm really, that's what really has me kind of rattled. And, I can't help but feel that way. I'm trying to find the right words, but I'm really concerned about, when that day comes, and when it comes, will Mauro be able to somehow continue to find his way out of that rabbit hole that's, deep in the subconscious, where he's able to continue to turn it on and do what he does on the mic so very well. Only time will tell. But I couldn't help but walk away from that and just have a more deeper understanding of what those that are going through mental disorders, such as bipolar condition. I just couldn't help but walk away, really coming away more aware, having more compassion, and really appreciating what loved ones that are dealing with someone that has that type of a condition, might not be like Mauro's. Maybe it's much more severe, and the fact that they're able to go in day out and day out and somehow be able to function with society, got my respect. So much so that I really hope that Showtime and Mauro, I don't know if this was pitched to Showtime by Mauro or if they're going to be working on this, but I just feel that this documentary was that so impactful that they should make it be their business after maybe the first 90 days of this being out. I think it would be a really great idea if they went on ahead and try to release this on DVD, maybe include some special features. And for the first 60 days, maybe you could say 100% proceeds will basically go to, um, some type of a facility, for mental health, some type of an organization, something nonprofit, with regards to dealing with bipolar disorder, mental health. I think that would really be cool. I think that would really be cool if there was ever a time for fans to get together and okay, we're doing something for a really worthy cause. Buying this DVD. I'd like to see something like that happen. I really would. 100% proceeds for the first 60 days. Let it go to those respected outlets that I mentioned. And then afterwards, maybe you can cut it down to about 30% proceeds go to those respected organizations, charitable causes. I think that would be really good. I think that would be really good. And then bear with me a second here, guys. And I like how we got idiots that's coming into the chat and they're going, how the hell does a ghetto? Just because I have a do-rag on, it doesn't make me ghetto. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? That is the most ignorant, discriminating thing that you can say about somebody. That would almost be as bad as me saying, oh, you with the Make America Great Again hat. Oh, you're a fucking redneck that didn't finish high school. I think you barely got out of the 4th grade, right? Yeah. Come on, guys. It's 2018. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. This ain't the channel for you if you're gonna be taking that bullshit over here. Seriously, take that shit somewhere else. We're not having that here. Okay? We're not. Stupid. Just stupid. Very, very stupid. I've seen white people, I've seen Chinese people, I've seen men, I've seen females wear do-rags, wear all kinds of hats, and the least thing now I can understand it if I came on here and yo, yeah, what's going on, man? I'm up in this bitch like I don't know what, man. I'm hungry like a motherfucker, man. I'm about ready to go cook me some fucking grits. I'm gonna have me some of my fucking Hennessy, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to pop a cap up in this bitch. I can understand it if I was talking like that. Come on now. Seriously. Don't be that stupid. Seriously. Some of you guys may have liked that version that you had got and said, okay, can you bring that out a little bit more? No, sorry. I'm not bringing that out. No. Let's see what else can we get into on tonight's show here. Something I want to point out to you guys, and I got to give a shout out to the lovely Courtney Summers. Good fan of the show, supporter of ours on Patreon. Definitely need to give her a shout out. She wanted me to share this news. I told her, I said, I already got it. It was on my agenda. Planned on talking about it tonight. How many of you guys remember former WWE Tough Enough contestant Matt Cappotelli? He has been battling with cancer many years now, at least almost 10 years. And he keeps getting surgery after surgery after surgery, all of these surgeries. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, just from the research that I briefly did earlier. The guy keeps getting that skull open. Yes. And it's so heartbreaking when you see this and you hear about this, because you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the late singer Tammy Terrell that used to sing a lot of duets with Marvin Gaye back in the day. She died at a relatively young age. She died at the age of 24, and cancer is what had got the best of her. Right at the pinnacle of her career. You know, I mean, she was, man, that girl had a very promising career. Just from the bit that you heard, I mean, she was definitely, you hear the phrase barely scratching the surface, but she barely was scratching the surface. And to just have her life be taken away by such a horrific disease at the age of 24, anybody that's not familiar with her, I mean, we're talking Motown there. You need to do yourself a favor, go out of your way and check out her documentary. It's part of the Unsung TV series on TV One. You'll thank me later, but you just are so heartbroken when you see how many times they have to operate on her, and that they have to keep opening up her head and going in there and trying to remove the cancer. And, you know, they went in so many times that it got to the point where they said to Terrell, man, if we go in here, we just fear that we're going to mess around with the wrong nerve for sure. And you know, your condition will get worse. Even if we were to take out the tumor, you know, we're going to be messing with some nerves that there's no telling what the ramifications would be as a result of it. It is just, I think the last bout of cancer she was dealing with, it was kind of like overlapping the nerves. And then on top of that, she had been operated on, you know, it wasn't even a couple of years. I think it came back in like less than a year or a year tops, maybe 18 months. And they said to her, no, it's too soon for us to go back in there and operate. We're going to mess up something. And so she had to spend her final days. My God, you know, so you hear what's going on with Matt, and he is in a real serious struggle for his life right now. And here's a man that honestly, if he could, young man, mid 30s, late 30s, if he could, he would financially be able to provide for himself. He'd be able to pay for his own medical bills, but he can't do that right now. So his wife and family, friends, they decided to try and get together and kick up a GoFundMe page. And I would definitely implore and encourage a lot of you guys to go out of your way and donate anything that you can. And if it's a situation where financially you cannot contribute right now, there's you know, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. If you can't contribute right now, do yourself a favor And, the best thing you can do is share the link. Just share the link. That's all you can do. And I'll give you guys the link right now. You can go on over to Matt's Biggest Challenge. Again, that's GoFundMe.com/ Matt's Biggest Battle, I should say. I'm sorry, guys. GoFundMe.com, Matt's Biggest Battle. I'm not sure why I was thinking challenge initially, but GoFundMe.com/ Matt's Biggest Battle. That is actually in the episode description of this very episode right now. It'll take you right to there. Now, look, I want you guys to feel really, really empowered to donate, because when you land on this page, you get a brief recap on everything that's been going on. It's not no 10-minute read. You're done reading in about 70 seconds or way less tops. And you guys will be very happy to know that so far they've raised over $30,000. Their goal is to hit $500,000. But right now they are just over $30,000. If you ask me if I'm going to be donating, yes, I will. I get paid this weekend. And as far as how much I'm going to be donating, whatever I can spare. I got mortgage during the first week. I got car insurance, so I got to make sure I take care of the priorities first. But whatever I am able to give, be it a big amount or a small amount, I definitely will personally be donating. And I'm just going to be donating as me. I'm not going to be donating behind the show handle. Normally, when I typically donate to worthy causes, I try to donate just straight up as me, as the man, in front, not the man from the show. Is just me as an individual. So again, you guys that are interested, GoFundMe.com/ Matt's Biggest Battle. And thank you guys tremendously that are able to contribute. And again, financially, if you can't do anything, just take that link. You got Twitter, you got Facebook, you got all types of social media. You can do the next best thing and share it. Even if it's just that one fan that you have, even if you just have that one friend that's into wrestling, but that one friend probably knows 10 people or 20 people, share it on your page, share it with that friend, tell that friend, hey, look, if you can share this, this is something really worthy that, we all need to come together on. Let's see if we can help this guy and his family out, man. I'm sure they definitely would appreciate any contributions that they're able to get. And I hope that before the month of June is out, that a lot more of the wrestling community, not just podcasters, but wrestlers. I really hope that, wrestlers like the Steve Austins, etc., that this really spreads and they're able to contribute as well. Only time will tell, but, hopefully before June is out, it really jumps, and it jumps significantly. I saw something that I wanted to tackle real quick, and I'll be brief. I see that the Young Bucks are getting a little bit of heat because it's looking as though they're bulking up. I don't know if you guys have seen the newest pictures of Nick and Matt, but they've gotten a lot bigger. Some people are basically saying, "Oh, these guys are on freaking roids." They're taking something. And one of the Young Bucks had to jump out there and do a little bit of damage control. And I didn't even, I looked at this, I'm going, why are these guys even responding to this? I'm saying to myself, guys, you do realize how many years we've been watching the Young Bucks, right? You knew there was going to come a time where eventually, if they wanted to be taken more seriously as an act or as individuals, that sooner or later they were going to be bulking up. I mean, we saw these guys when they came in as kids, which you always thought that they were going to stay that small little petite build. I mean, eventually we saw Matt and Jeff Hardy bulk up. And I don't mean bulk up like Jinder Mahal or Scott Steiner. They just started to fill out more. They started doing better conditioning, started switching up on their diet. And as a result of that, You know, they're taking on a little bit more muscle mass, and everybody knows how straight edge the Young Bucks are, right? So, you know, for me, I just see it being a situation where these two men, these two still young men, are finally starting to grow into their man bodies, right? And, you know, whereas before, you know, teenage bodies going into, you know, young adult, but now they're really starting to get into their man bodies. And for me, I really didn't notice anything that was, oh my God, that is alarming. That is just startling, freaking scary, sick. You know, look at the veins. I'm not seeing anything like that. I'm seeing natural working out, you know, with the type of schedule that those guys have. Yeah, they probably are able to get into the gym a lot more than some of us, you know, would love to try to go into the gym. So, you know, for me, I'm happy for them. I'm happy that, you know, they're really taking what's going on with them physically and they're trying to make that transformation, you know. And bear with me one second here, guys. Bear with me one second here. And yet you're continuing to put money in my pocket by watching my stream because this is monetized, you dumb fucking idiot. Take that bullshit elsewhere. You're now fucking banned. You fucking idiot. I mean, seriously, we got some stupid knuckleheads that's in the chat today. I mean, seriously, seriously, you're now blocked. So bye. I don't know what we, you know, it's stupid. We got fucking stupid people here today. I don't get it. Sorry, guys. I just see there's like a couple of knuckleheads that, actually, it's just one knucklehead that we got in the chat. And it's like, you know, you must feel so fucking lonely that nobody is really trying to acknowledge you. Life must be really hard when you want to talk about how people look. You're the one that fucking looks like Freddy Krueger. I mean, seriously. I mean, so you're one to fucking talk. I mean, at least I'm willing to put my black ass in front of a webcam every fucking week. I'm sorry. I get about 10, 12,000 downloads a week for my show. I have a good list of celebrities that I've interviewed over the years. Most recently, the star of the hit CW TV series Black Lightning, Cress Williams himself, Black Lightning. I get to take my show on the road. I'm sorry. I have 7 million views on fucking YouTube. I've got 11,000 plus subscribers on YouTube. I've got over 3,000 on Twitter. I've got over 2,800 likes on Facebook. I'm sorry. What the fuck do you have again? Because I just looked at your YouTube channel. You've got no subscribers. You've got no views. I'm sorry. What's the name of your show again? Oh, that's right. Nothing. You're just a big bad punk bitch keyboard warrior. That's your job. You're good at just talking shit behind the keyboard because that's the cool thing to do. Do yourself a favor. Go look at your favorite piece of porn, or in this case, probably your mom's lingerie in the dresser drawer, and go beat off and go to sleep already. You got school in the morning. So anyway, moving along. No, I'm not feeding the troll. I'm having a blast actually. I'm having a blast actually. So, you know, but for me, oh, you know what? We were talking about that. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors. I also want to give a shout out to some of our Patreon members. I love our Patreon members. We have to show them some love. By the way, as far as Patreon content goes, I finally and I meant to see this a couple of years ago. You guys are going to be like, dude, you just now saw that? I finally saw, a bullshit you not, Keanu Reeves, Man of Tai Chi. And I was literally telling my girl this the other day. I said, man, because we watched it together because she's a big fan of the Karate Kid and everything. And I told her, I said, man, I wanted to see this when it was out in theaters. She said, I remember it was only playing in select theaters, wasn't it? It was only in limited theaters. I said, yeah, that's how I remember it. So we watched it on demand over the weekend. And I said, man, I got to talk about this movie. Like, this is my next 30 with Lee. So the Memorial holiday, the playoffs, all that kind of had me sidetracked. And I've said it once before, but I'll say it again. I don't know how many of you guys are aware of this, but I do deal with, it's not necessarily a bipolar disorder, but I do have mood swings. Some days, just out of the clear blue, I can just be really happy. I can have a bunch of energy like Mauro. I want to multitask and do a lot of stuff. And then there's other days where I don't feel like doing anything. I feel very depressed. I feel angry. I feel sad. I'm not sure about what. I question certain things with regards to life, and I'm not really the most cool person to be around when I get into that mental state. And so I'll want to retrieve, and I will just want to keep to myself, and I'll be very, very quiet, right? After watching the Mauro documentary, I can't help but wonder if maybe I am bipolar. I don't know, but the point is, I got sidetracked with some of those mood swings I was having during the Memorial holiday break. That unfortunately I wasn't able to record the audio for Man of Tai Chi. So the plan is to record Man of Tai Chi when I get in from work tomorrow evening, and that'll be uploaded. So it'll be available, I would say probably, I'll say 7:30 to be on the safe side on the East Coast. But if I'm able to have that a lot sooner for you guys, then it'll definitely be available. Now that's only for our Patreon members. So I would definitely, tell you guys, consider being a Patreon member, because for $5 a month, you get access to 30 with Lee, that reviews all types of cool movies, hidden gems, underground, independent movies, really badass. And then you also get the new series, Wrestling with the Topics. That's with me and my girl. And I got to give a shout out to my good friend, Andy. I got to get actually in contact with Andy tomorrow. Andy had finally designed the show logo that we're going to be using for that series. And it looks pretty badass. I actually can't wait to share it with you guys. But you get access to all of those for $5 a month, and any exclusive bonus RCWR show content. Like, there is still, and it has not been shared on social media at all, but there is the Dave Bautista Q&A panel that he did at AwesomeCon. We have it in its entirety. Now you'll see on YouTube, maybe on Daily Motion, a 5-minute clip here, or maybe a 3-minute piece here, but you don't see the entire or hear the entire Q&A that Dave Bautista did. And on the Patreon channel, you do get access to the entire audio. It's got him, Michael Rourke, Sean Gunn. It was great. So you get access to all that. $5 a month, do consider. But shout out to our following Patreon members, because without them, man, they're pretty much the heartbeat of the RCWR show. Stuff like what you're checking out right now, it definitely would not be free. So we definitely want to show them a lot of love right now. First off, I want to give shout outs to the beautiful and the lovely Courtney Summers. Shout out to Courtney. Courtney, you got to let me know what's going on with that soon to be podcast of yours. I'm curious. Shout out to Michael Wolf. Shout out to John Davis. Shout out to my good buddy Anthony Missionary Thomas, Wrestling Soup. And shout out to Joe Raymond Jr. Shout out to all of you guys. Thank you for being our Patreon members. We do appreciate you guys tremendously. And also shout out to our sponsors for tonight's episode. Shout out to Destination Vacations Travel Agency. If you need help with your next vacation planning, don't have time to search for the best deals and locations, Destinations Vacations Travel Agency can help. Give them a call right now. Area code 630-491-6864. You can also visit them at www.destinationvacationstravel.com. Also, my lotterywinningsecrets.com. Learn from a lottery winner that won the jackpot, get this, 7 times. 7 consecutive times. Great tips, methods. My lotterywinningsecrets.com. You got nothing to lose, a lot to gain. Go check that out. Also, BeckettJewelry.com. If you're in need of great jewelry gift ideas for him or her, check out my good friends over at Beckett Jewelry. Low prices at great quality. Family owned and operated in the United States. All products are shipped from the United States. Becky Jewelry, love more, spend less. And the RCWR Show with Lee Sanders is brought to you in part by Dissecto Solutions, offering the best dissection kit for grades 9 through 12, grade students and teachers. Non-rust stainless steel dissecting tool for instructional and training purposes. Check them out on Amazon.com. $22 get you a 26-piece set. Also, I'm very excited for this event that's going to be coming up. I actually think I might want to check out some video highlights of this. Need to get in contact with these people. Midwest Ecom Conference, the Midwest Ecom Conference 2018 event. That's going to be happening July 20th through July 21st in Minneapolis, Minnesota. If you're looking to become a successful eBay or Amazon seller, looking for a better opportunity to provide yourself, your family with better income, work on your schedule, be your own boss, maybe work from home, you can learn a lot on e-commerce at this fun 2-day event. For registration, tickets, information, and more, head on over to midwestecom.com. That's midwestecom.com. Also, tax season still in effect for a lot of people. Also, at the same time, you got those struggling with their credit score, trying to get that up to par. Make sure you get in contact with my friends over at nosweatedcredit.biz. They can delete up to 5 negative items on your credit report in as little as 5 business days. Nosweatedcredit.biz. I will go into one more and then we will talk a little bit more. The OCD, actually, no, no, yeah, I think we met our commitments with them. They're actually good. Limited Edition Entertainment. If you are looking for a great booking agency, you need to hit these guys up, especially if you're an up and coming artist. You're looking for that big break. These guys might be able to help you out. Hit them up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Limited Edition ENT LLC. I'll give that to you again. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Limited Edition ENT LLC. You also check out their website at Limited Edition ENT.com. You also email them at Limited Edition ENT Booking at gmail.com. You missed any of this, you can check all of this out on the episode description of this episode you're checking out right now. So get to it. All right. One more thing I want to get into on this episode. I want to end it on this note. This was actually kind of hilarious when I had heard about this. WWE has this alleged writers promo checklist. I'm not sure how many of you guys are aware of this. This was actually pretty damn funny when I saw this. You guys will actually get a kick out of this. I actually had to save this because I was going, wait a minute, this can't be real. Now, shout out to Cage Seats, because they were the ones that had first brought this up. So apparently there were a few pages of the May 28th edition of Monday Night Raw that came in possession of a Redditor by the name of Wicked S. I don't know, maybe he's trying to say Phoenix. Wicked SFINX. And they had got all these photos that's here. So what's very interesting is the initials. A lot of this spread out. You see KD, BK, VKM. So you're going, okay, Vince McMahon, Kevin Dunn, Billy Kidman. And apparently there's like this checkoff list where Vince McMahon, Kevin Dunn, Billy Kidman, they're telling the writers what to put in the scripts, what's to come as a result of certain segments, things of that nature. So here's your promo bullet points. This is not long at all. You guys will actually get a kick out of this. So B Team, welcome everyone to the BBQ. Show off the various food items. B Team say they are next in line for the Raw Tag Team titles. Titus and Slater confront B Team about their claim. Titus starts food fight, which ends with B team putting Rhino through a table. Now you see these bullet points. What is the premise? Does the promo make sense as a standalone and in show? Totally. Tell a story, make it entertaining, grab the audience's attention. Big finish. Do not change tenses. Rehearse your segments. Excuse me. Rehearse your segments backstage and if required in the arena before doors. If for whatever reason you can't rehearse in the arena, then communicate this ASAP before your segment airs. Check the latest drafts for the latest changes. Execute VKM, Vincent Kennedy McMahon notes, direction. If you find any notes do not work during in-arena rehearsals or while producing the segment backstage, they communicate ASAP before your segment airs. Some interesting shit here, man. Props, producers, truck. Everybody needs to be on the same page. Headset, Gorilla Cues. Tell KD, VKM, and Kidman if you think your segment is going to run heavy before the segment starts. Speak clearly so KD, VKM can hear you. Stay ahead of the cues. Repeat yourself if necessary. Mic placement, music cues, order of entrances, etc. Know any special camera shots or specific blocking. Give the last line and music to hit on the out. Who goes over in the match? Aftermath, run-ins, music needed, replays, promo, interview. I mean, if this is alleged now, this is let's use that. This is the key word here, alleged. This is a alleged leaked WWE writers promo checklist. If this is legit, you can't help but feel for the talents even more because you're going, wow, this restrained? It's this restrained. You can't just have a bullet point and just go out there and let it fly. You can't just have a bullet point. Okay, you've got 60 seconds and go. You can't go in that situation. It's just mind-boggling, and it almost kind of highlights the problem that's happening with a lot of the talents that's in today's WWE, with the exception of a guy like maybe a Jinder Mahal, maybe a Drew McIntyre, a EC3, a AJ Styles, a Samoa Joe. They all got that swagger. They got that mojo. They've got their characters down. And I think it really helped that they had got seasoned in other promotions leading up to working with the WWE, at least on a consistent basis. But for me, to hear this so much restriction for the talent, it's no wonder why everybody kind of feels like they're on the same wavelength. It's no wonder why everybody is on the same level of, well, that's just comes off mediocre. You know, regardless of who it is, you're going, well, that just comes off kind of mediocre. What the hell? Very nerve-wracking. I mean, I don't really have much more to add to that, except I'm not really surprised because we've heard so many people that at one point worked for WWE over the years in interviews, shoots, you name it, talk about how restricted it is as far as what they're able to do creatively and just how much more creative freedom they are able to relish in when they're away from the WWE and they're working for, say, Impact Wrestling, ROH, what have you, right? But, for me, it doesn't surprise me, but to see that there is potentially a script like this that's floating around where it's this damn checklist, a checklist. That would explain why a lot of times, for example, you see a guy like a Roman Reigns come out and it feels kind of robotic. It feels kind of forced. It doesn't feel organic, and you just pick up that same trend with a lot of the talents. It kind of justifies this alleged script that's put out there. So I'm not really sure what more I can say except for everything that I just had added. You know, you would think that maybe with what's going to be going down with um, this Fox WWE deal, that when SmackDown gets ready to land on Fox, maybe things will be much different. Only time will tell. But speaking of which, it looks as though there is some rumblings coming about right now with regards to that Fox deal. It looks as though Disney is trying to do everything in their power to potentially buy 20th Century Fox. They've pretty much have told 20th Century Fox, hey, look, give us a little bit more time. We'll give you whatever amount of money that you're looking for. We're serious. We really want to own this. So you're hearing that. You're kind of wondering, well, what's going on with this whole WWE Fox deal? Is it going to be happening? There was supposed to be an announcement forthcoming, but it never did happen. If you guys remember, there was supposed to be a big announcement made, never did happen. Is it maybe a situation where now going into this fall, maybe WWE will reveal, hey, SmackDown's going to have a new home. We got this deal with, because we haven't officially seen a press release yet by the WWE and Fox. And I just can't help but wonder if everything is maybe touch and go at this point. Maybe everything is just on a verbal agreement, but at the same time is kind of touch and go because Disney is now trying to come into the picture. You know, over the years, WWE has always said, hey, we would love to do some type of work with Disney, but would Disney like to do something with the WWE? If a situation were to come where Disney purchases 20th Century Fox, and thus that's how you get Fox into the whole mix, will they even consider honoring the deal that is possibly currently in place for the WWE with SmackDown and all that? You know, what could happen there? Or would Disney have an option of some type of a loophole exploit where if they feel that by a certain time period, if SmackDown isn't where they feel it needs to be, right? So, you know, this is a very interesting development that's going on. And I'm not really sure how many of you guys were aware of it, but I saw an article. I can't remember the article as far as the site goes, but I remember reading an article today where they are still gun-ho. They are still trying to work out a deal with 20th Century Fox. You know, they're trying to get them. They are trying to get them, man. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see how that comes about. Let me see how much showtime is left here. Oh, we're doing pretty good. Okay, let me get into a couple of more headlines real quick. I had promised you guys I had some CM Punk news real quick. There's a couple of questions in the chat with regards to Transformers 7. Sadly, not a fan of Transformers. The franchise, no. I can get into the 80s cartoon. I could get into Beast Wars. That's about it. That's about it. Thoughts on Wilder, AJ? Wilder, AJ. I actually did not see that. If that happened on tonight's SmackDown, I didn't see it. I had saw the dance off that went down between Naomi and Lana. You know, that was okay. The Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan match, Big Cass coming in there. I enjoyed that. Ty Dillinger have faced somebody. It's a blur. Oh, Shinsuke Nakamura. That actually was a pretty good match. That's pretty much all I remember from SmackDown tonight. That's really all I remember. It was actually a good episode. I enjoyed what I had saw because, again, I was prepping for the show and I wasn't as glued to the TV as I normally am because, again, I got sidetracked checking out the Mauro Ranello piece. Was also catching up on the news and all that. So one good thing about it now, as far as sports goes, now that we just have the NBA Finals, the Stanley Cup Finals, if you guys notice, I've been a bit more silent on social media Monday nights, you know, because there's always a game on Mondays. And now that we've got the Western Conference, Eastern Conference finals out the way, I can finally start watching Raw again in real time. So I'm actually looking forward to interacting with you guys. Ty Dillinger, no comment. Ty is very underrated. What do I think? No comment. No comment right now. No comment. Let's get into these quick topics real quick. Not being dismissive. I just, you know, the way my mama raised me, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So I got some news I want to get into real quick. Let's hammer this out real quick. So Cody Rhodes, he recently had talked about CM Punk. He finally went a little bit more in depth as far as whether or not CM Punk is going to be at this All-In event that's going to be coming up in a couple of months. And he said, and I quote, and he did this interview to Pro Wrestling Com. He said, I quote, I had a really great relationship with Punk. When I came to the OVW, he was the locker room leader and he was super cool to me, and he probably shouldn't have been. He worked for 10 years and was in developmental, and it wasn't working at the time. He hadn't got ECW call yet, and he was really nice to me, and you never forget that. I get like emotional thinking about it, but he was very nice to me. We want him to win his fight, first and foremost. We want him to win his fight. I want to go, but it's Chicago, so obviously there were discussions of Punk. On the same, you know, very different side of the coin, that's cheating. We said we could draw 10,000 people. Let me draw 10,000 people. So I told someone, I said, we're not going to tell you if Punk's on the show. And they're like, oh, they're milking it. No, we're not. I'm not going to tell you. It's ours to draw or not draw. And if Punk wanted to be a part of it or wants to be a part of it, of course, he's unbelievably welcome. His city and the wrestling world never, ever has given up on Punk. Never has given up on Punk. That speaks to the body of work and equity he had with them. So who knows? Good words right there. Speaking of CM Punk, we got a couple of more pieces I want to share, but a big piece of news. I actually did not get to share this on the show last week because I had to wait for Wednesday for it to go down. And our Patreon family, they actually had got break of the news first. They got first dibs, and my inner circle of family and friends had got it on Facebook. But the RCWR show is going to be going to Chicago in late August. Now, it's not for the All-In event. As you all know, tickets for the All-In event got sold out really quick. And so sadly, when the tickets went on sale, I wasn't able to get the tickets. However, the RCWR show is going to be going to Chicago in late August to take part in the exclusive meet and greet with CM Punk at the Pro Wrestling Tees store in Chicago, Illinois. And this is a big deal for me on so many, I'm kind of emotional, kind of thinking about it, but this will be my first time going back home to Chicago in over 30 years. 30 years. I lost a lot of contact with close friends, family during that time. So while I'm out there, I'm looking very forward to reestablishing contact with a lot of lost souls and making new friends in the process. I've already gotten in contact with my good buddy Mish and told him, hey man, looks like I'm going to be going out there for sure. I got to tell you, when I was in front of the computer Wednesday, and I had purposely took the day off from work to try to get the CM Punk tickets. It was crazy. I had just the night before, I did the whole navigation, went online, made sure everything was ready to go. I knew where to click, all that. And then when Wednesday came, it was time for the tickets to sell. I was in front of the computer on time, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central Time. Refreshed. Tickets were available. Saw that green button. Get tickets. Click that bad boy. By the time I clicked on the best in the world combo, they were like sold out. I'm going, what the hell? I refreshed. Sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out. Everything was sold out. It was like, what the fuck? So the next thing I know, I said, well, I actually was about to get off the computer and just, I felt a mood swing coming on. I was beyond pissed. Next thing you know, I remember, well, wait a minute. Pro Wrestling Tees said if the initial 200 sells out, they would release another 100. So I'm going, well, wait a minute. Let me just stay in front of the computer. And like less than 2 minutes later, Pro Wrestling Tees on their social media page, Twitter, they said, okay, so the first 200 tickets sold out in 50 seconds. As a result, we're going to release another 100. I'm going, all right, let's see what happens. And they released them. I was able to get in on that one. They actually had released it, that same package I was looking for, the best in the world package. They released that again. And I'm going, hey, hot damn. So gonna be going to Chicago. Looking forward to it. I can't wait. We're gonna be video documenting everything. The way it's looking right now, a lot of the content that I'll be recording while I'm out there to and from, pretty much that's going to be Patreon exclusive content. So, you know, you definitely may want to consider signing up. Patreon.com/RCWR Show. And I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait. I saw somebody say a while back, it was kind of like a jaded comment. You know, CM Punk doesn't care about his fans. You know, he doesn't give a damn about the people that had made him. You know, it's like, well, wait a minute now. Before CM Punk had ever stepped foot in the WWE, he had that long history of the different promotions that he was working for. You know, he was out there busting his ass, you know, one match at a time. Yeah, he definitely had the fan base there. You know, it sucks how things had played out for him in the WWE. But I mean, realistically, just stop and think about it for a minute. You're making a really great salary with the WWE. You've spent those years being smart, saving your money. You get to the point, I really don't need to be doing this. I'm living a very conservative life. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm saving. I'm being smart about my money. I really don't need this type of lifestyle. But you know what? I love what I'm doing. I love the contributions I'm making to the business. You know, as long as I'm being treated right, that's all that matters. Well, in his case, he felt as though WWE wasn't treating him right. We know the rest of the fucking history. And he felt very hurt by how WWE did him. So, you know, I definitely am one to give him a pass to try to find himself and figure out where his new passion in life is, rediscover himself, and, you know, at a later time, try to reconnect with his fans. And I have to say, it took him a little bit of time, but, you know, slowly but surely, he started mingling with the fans again, whether it would be at a Blackhawks game or he talk a little Cubs. He's walking down the street, and hell, so many people have shared stories of they've been eating at a restaurant in Chicago, and because they were wearing a CM Punk shirt, CM Punk paid for their dinner or lunch or whatever. It's like you hear about all these cool little gestures that he's doing. Hell, man, I wouldn't even put it past CM Punk if part of the reason why he's getting this UFC fight, and also part of the reason why he's doing this thing with Pro Wrestling Tees, he's trying to raise X amount of money, and possibly doing the All In event is to possibly raise X amount of money so that he can, you know, pay off his lawyer or whatever, and the rest, because, you know, he's going to be having some court dates for the next little bit. In case you guys had missed it, day one of the court, it began. Yeah, in case you guys missed it, day one of the court had began. Shout out to, I'm trying to see if I can give him credit here. Trying to see, I don't have his Twitter handle, but there was a guy that's a reporter for the Chicago Tribune. He actually had documented everything that had came about from day one. And basically, he said, it was the start of the defamation case between CM Punk, Colt Cabana, and WWE Dr. Chris Amon, who claims Punk and Cabana damaged his reputation with falsehoods said on Cabana's podcast, The Art of Wrestling. And during the trial, Amon, he basically gave testimony that disputed CM Punk's claims that he did not treat a staph infection before the 2014 Royal Rumble, which was ultimately, as y'all know, CM Punk's last match. Gregory Pratt, I just saw there, Gregory Pratt from the Chicago Tribune. He was actually there. He's a court reporter. He actually was there looking over the proceedings. And the jury actually had heard in its entirety, I believe, or at least part one, they had heard the audio, the infamous podcast, the two-parter of CM Punk with Colt Cabana. And it was described that at one point or a couple of points, Punk was laughing, or not hysterically, but kind of chuckling at some of the things that was being said when he was listening back to the podcast. Yeah, I would imagine a couple of years later, you're going, man, I can't believe I said that shit. What the hell? But they said that his demeanor, for the most part, during day one, very serious, just very professional. So I know that brother can't wait until everything is past this. Also, keep it going with the CM Punk news. Dana White recently had commented. I don't know how many of you guys been following the UFC, but he finally really in depth had addressed the criticism about CM Punk fighting on the UFC 225 main card coming up on June 9th. Well, you got guys like Alistair Overeem and Rashid Evans. They're competing in the prelims. And during the UFC Liverpool post-fight press conference, Dana White had this to say. You'll get a kick out of this one. UFC president Dana White was asked about Overeem being demoted to the prelims while Punk is on the main card against fellow 0-1 fighter Mike Jackson. He said basically, hey, when Overeem and crew, when they're able to make the amount of money that CM Punk is able to make, then we'll talk. Until then, he pretty much was like, they need to shut the fuck up. And he said that if CM Punk loses this fight coming up on June 9th, most likely it'll be the last time you see him in the UFC. So, yeah, Dana White going all balls out there. And sticking with UFC a little bit more, former Ultimate Fighter middleweight champion Michael Bisping, he announced his retirement on his podcast literally Monday. And apparently he's been having a lot of issues with his eye. There was a bout that he did a couple of weeks back or several weeks back, and that saw him lose. And his record, I want to say it's now 9 losses. I think he's got like 30 wins. So, I mean, that's a good record. He's going out on a good note, but he pretty much was like, look, man, you can't do this forever. I realize that as far as my health goes, it is deteriorating a bit. So I just want to go out, still go out on a good note. It sucks he's not going out on a win, his last fight, a win, but why risk it, right? There's no reason to risk further damage, right? No reason to. And we got some Spawn news. As far as Spawn, I don't know how many of you guys have been paying attention to the news. Todd McFarlane, the creator of Spawn, he made headlines last year when he said that as far as the next Spawn rebooted movie, he was looking at a total budget of $10 million. He was going to write, he was going to direct it. And it looks as though he's courted, get this, Jamie Foxx to be Al Simmons, aka Spawn. If this is legit, and this is a report coming from Deadline's usually pretty good with their intel. If this is legit and Jamie Foxx is gonna attach himself to this, hot damn. I can't wait to see what they're able to do with that. That would be freaking fantastic. So I've been paying very close attention to this. And I tell you, I can't wait for it to come to fruition. But see, here's the bigger question that I have, which is, will the second go round working in the comic book world be a success for Jamie Foxx? Because as we all know, he was Electro in the Amazing Spider-Man 2. That really felt like a very rushed Batman Forever. I don't remember people saying, "Oh, that Jamie Foxx as Electro." I don't remember a boatload of people really giving him a lot of glowing reviews. So, with that stigma, can he justify himself stepping into such a iconic role as Spawn? Because for a lot of comic book buffs, Spawn, love them some Spawn. I definitely know I was a big Spawn fan back in the day. I had at one point every single issue of Spawn going on up until like maybe issue 200 or whatever. I had issue 1 through 200, mint condition, near mint condition, still in cardboard, plastic. Checked out the HBO animated series. That was the shit. If I'd like to see anything come back, I would like to see the HBO Spawn animated series come back. That was a really damn good show, years ahead of its time. That's one of those animated series that you can watch today and it still feels as though it came out yesterday. It still feels very relevant. Very relevant. So if you guys are looking for something really cool, you're into the anime and all that, and that's something that you never checked out, check that out. I want to say there were 3 seasons of the Spawn animated series. For sure 2, but I'm leaning more towards 3 seasons. You could probably by now you could probably get it for a really good deal too. I mean, just per, you could probably pay anywhere from like 15, maybe $20 a piece. Maybe you can get the entire series for about probably $40 if you're lucky, maybe $45. It's a good investment. Trust me, it's a damn good investment. While we're talking about comic books, sad news. Rosario Dawson, I got a crush on her. True story. I'm not going to put the girl's last name out there. I'll mention her first name. I used to have a crush on this girl in high school named Cherie, and Cherie looked just like Rosario Dawson. I bullshit you not. And man, I had the biggest crush on her. I used to walk her home from school every single day, and I couldn't work up the nerve to ask her to go steady. And I think she knew I wanted to go steady, and it was just a situation where she was just waiting for me to open my mouth and say something, but I never said anything. And when you snooze, you lose. So, but yeah, every time I look at Rosario Dawson, she always reminds me of Cherie. Well, according to Screen Geek, they apparently had ran into her at the MCM Comic Con in London, where she's going to be returning for season 2 of Luke Cage, and they pretty much had asked her, "Hey, are you going to be back for another season of Luke Cage? Are Marvel fans going to be able to see you cross over into the rest of the shows? I know we got another Punisher coming up. Could your character maybe show up in Jessica Jones? What say you?" And she basically said, "I'm not really sure right now. A lot of stuff is up in the air, depending on how things play out with the second season of Luke Cage. Yeah, I think I'd be up for coming back for Luke Cage season 3 if it gets the green light. But at this point, I'm not really sure what the future holds for my character, because I practically appeared in every single Netflix Marvel series, and a lot of episodes. And also, I'm spending a lot of time away from my family. And I think she said like 3,000 miles or whatever that she's spending away from her family. And, she really wants to be there for her kids. So it kind of sounds as if things are kind of uh, weighing down a bit as far as the quality time. Okay. And then mommy's got to go out on the road and go do this because this is helping, pay our bills and all that. Sounds to me like she needs a little bit of a lighter schedule. I'm not sure honestly, when you think about where all the Netflix series are right now for Marvel, when you think about the Marvel shows right now, Yeah, I think we're at that point right now where realistically, I think you only need Rosario Dawson's Claire Temple character. I feel as though you definitely need her for Luke Cage. It feels as though you need her for Iron Fist. I'm just kind of getting that vibe. You could use her on Iron Fist. Depending on where things go with the Punisher second season, I dare say I don't think you need her on there because the way things kind of I won't go too far, but micro is all I'm gonna say. I'm kind of left with the impression that you don't need her for that one. So for me, I could definitely see a Luke Cage season 3. I could definitely see Iron Fist. I could also even see potentially maybe Daredevil. I could maybe see her, that's 3 tops. So, give it some time. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. And also, big piece of news. I think I'm going to end it with this. This was actually the last piece of news I wanted to share with you. Again, these are just, little things that kind of caught my eye that I think you guys, you either like these shows, you like some of these things I'm talking about, and you're going to be like, what the fuck? Well, here's the biggest what the fuck. Walking Dead. Apparently, green light for season 9, but Andrew Lincoln, it looks as though he's only going to be involved for a handful of episodes. At this point, they're saying maybe about 6, possibly 7 episodes of basically like the first half of the season. And they're saying that Andrew Lincoln is reportedly going to depart from The Walking Dead. I know, right? So you're saying, well, wait a minute, that's got to be the end of The Walking Dead then, right? Not exactly. So as the 9th season comes more and more closer to a close, the Rick Grimes character is going to be phased out of the show. Now, whether or not Rick Grimes gets bit by a zombie and somebody's got to blow his brains out, who knows? But the way it's looking right now, you got dude Norman Reedus. It's being reported that AMC was able to secure him for a lucrative deal for $20 million to stick around, not just for season 9, but beyond. It's being reported that he's going to be the new lead guy right after they get done with the Rick Grimes character. So you hear that and you go, what the fuck? Also, another departure that could be coming from Lauren Cohen, who plays Maggie on the show. She's only going to be back for about 6 episodes for season 9. She's only going to be back for supposedly the first 8 episodes, and apparently she has a lead role on a ABC mid-season drama called Whiskey Cavalier. And as a result of that, she's having a more of a reduced role on The Walking Dead. Now, supposedly, if this new series of hers on ABC gets picked up, then obviously they're going to have to figure out some type of a way to either write her character off, or they're able to work out some type of an arrangement. She can continue to do that one, and then she's doing her thing over on ABC. Yeah, but most of these networks, they don't really like to share, sadly. If it's HBO, Showtime, sure, but most of these networks, they don't really like to share. So if the series gets picked up by ABC, they greenlight it for a full season, that puts AMC in a really bad spot. But they tried their best to lock her down for a long-term contract, because there was actually a clause in her contract, the last one that she signed, where she was not allowed to negotiate for any TV role deals for like X amount of months after that contract she signed had expired. There had to be a certain amount of time that would pass before she could even embark on new roles, new opportunities. So just marinate on that. If you're a Walking Dead fan, wait a minute. Andrew Lincoln, Lauren Cohen, man, the same season, they both are phased out. What the fuck? Yeah. It's like that. You thought Glenn Reed was something. This is something. Seriously, I'm just baffled hearing this news. I really am. You know, look, I'll tell you straight up. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'll tell you guys straight up. It really fucking feels as though that Walking Dead has gone on far too fucking long. And I agree with Tony. I mean, when I hear this shit, I'm going, okay, Walking Dead. I mean, for me personally, Walking Dead should have fucking ended with the Negan saga. It really should have ended there. But no, we're gonna go in this other direction. It's like, I don't know how much more you can do. You know, you gotta balance this. Do you maybe bring back do you maybe bring back, oh, I can't remember his name right now. The black guy with the cane, or the black guy that would be beating the crap out of people with the kendo stick or whatever. And now he's on Fear the Walking Dead. Tony, what's the guy's name I'm thinking about? What's the guy's name I'm talking about? Help me out. The black guy that was Rick Grimes' friend for a little bit. He showed up all of this past season, and then he pretty much took off. And now we see him on Fear the Morgan. I was gonna say Morgan, but I really wasn't sure. Thank you, Tony. Morgan. So you got to balance it out. If you're gonna lose Lauren Cohen and Andrew Lincoln, do you maybe bring back the Morgan character? Because you know those are some significant fucking blows of characters that you're gonna be losing. So we'll have to wait and see how this all plays out. But I'm with you guys. Just what's in the chat right now, early things that you're saying. Yeah, I agree. Walking Dead has gone on way too long, and now it's getting to that point now where you're going, okay, so how are you gonna rebuild from this? Now what are you gonna do? Touch and go, touch and go. Other than that, that's pretty much it. We can stick a fork in it. We can call it DONE done, man. All right. So on that note, shout out to Tony, shout out to Mark, shout out to Eddie. Said CM Punk is CM Punk. Oh god, that's funny. CM Punk's gonna come back to the WWE, but he's gonna be 75 years old. I like that. That's hilarious as hell. Shout out to Steven. Who else we got here? We did shout out to Steven. Am I missing anybody else? Shout out to Austin. I just see Austin in here. And shout out to Johnny Storm. Johnny Storm. Roseanne was on the air in 1988. Thank you for that, brother. I appreciate that. Let's see what else. Let me check in the Spreaker chat. Anybody in the Spreaker chat? Nope, I'm good in the Spreaker chat. Okay, good. Those of you that's going to be waiting for this on the downloads, give me about 25 minutes tops. I should be able to have this audio ready to go. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker. They all will get first dibs. Your next edition of the RCWR show, we're going to be coming at you live on Tuesday, May the 5th. I'm looking forward to that one because that Monday I will be watching Raw in real time. So follow me on Twitter. I'm also on Instagram. Been getting a lot more into it on Instagram, but follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook at the RCWR show. But definitely this coming Monday night, make sure you're interacting with me because I'm back to watching Raw again. I haven't interacted with you guys in a couple of weeks because of the playoffs and all. So I'm actually looking forward to that, watching it in real time. And we'll have a lot more to discuss for you guys. You know, honestly, it's been a slow week. You know, if you're into the WWE, it's, you know, kind of like we talked about the bullet points from SmackDown for this week. I think we did pretty good considering we didn't talk about Raw. You guys got a lot of good fixing as far as wrestling on this episode. You know, a little bit all over the place, really heavy into the sport. So hopefully you guys had appreciated this episode. Sound off. Let me know what you had thought. But we'll definitely come at you guys next Tuesday, May the 5th, 10 p.m. Eastern, soon as SmackDown goes off the air. Be kind, rewind. Check out previous episodes of the RCWR show you may have missed. Available on the downloads. Use the keywords, the RCWR show. That is going to do it. I am wishing all you guys be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. We'll do this for you guys again next go round. Y'all have an enjoyable rest of the week. Good night. Good morning.